Okay, so me and my friends were just looking around the uncategorized spells section of WoWHead, and since WoWHead automatically updates to the latest classic build, it includes the data from the PTR, and a lot of undocumented data mine stuff is in there. Well, maybe not a lot, but there's about 20 or so things. They might be runes or items or buffs or whatever, but they exist in the database and nobody else is talking about any of these, and we found them, so here you go. I figured I'd make a short, fun video. Of course, don't forget to subscribe so I can keep making stuff like this, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. So first up, here is the world buff from the PvP event. Of course, my other video showed the Nomergon one, but this one is from the STV thing, same thing as the Ashen Veil thing. It's just 8% instead of 5%. Also, there is this Blood Moon buff that says you will be hostile to literally everybody during the STV event, which is kind of nuts, but also sounds really fun. No one's really talking about that. I guess you'll be able to kill same faction players, so that'll have some interesting fights, some Paladin versus Paladin. I also found this weird Dark Rider buff or debuff. This is one of the more confusing ones than the other ones, because there's really, I don't know anything about this, but you know, who knows what it's about. The rest of the stuff is pretty straightforward. There's only one item that we found, this super weird Schwarmageddon mace. That's warrior only. Maybe it'll be a PvP thing because that's where the other class specific stuff is found, but it's a pretty sick attack speed buff and fire damage on a 2-minute cooldown, like on use. It doesn't seem like a bad weapon. There's no model link to the page, but it probably looks like a big piece of meat. Next, there's some class specific stuff. Lots of rogue and shaman in here. I don't really know why, but it's pretty exciting. I'll do rogue first because, you know, I'm a rogue. First off, there's this Carnage buff that gives you 20% damage as long as there's a bleed up. This is pretty much Hunger for Blood from Wrath of the Lich King. There's no rune or anything. We just found that the buff exists and it's in the game files, so who knows. I also found a Cut to the Chase ability, which is the assassination talent from Wrath that automatically refreshes Slice and Dice. But this one includes Blade Dance and is obviously in the classic client, so who knows. You might see this as a P3, P4, I don't know, way in the future rune. I really hope it makes it in because it'd be nice to just dump Envenoms nonstop. This one isn't just a buff, it's an actual ability. Blunderbuss, and boy is this a blunder. More range stuff for the rogue, which is, you know, I mean, not really what people want with the tanking stuff and the range stuff. I think it's really missing the mark. I mean, with the 15-second cooldown, it only hits 4 things. I mean, I hope we get better stuff than this. It's kind of trash. And then there's just this buff to get unusual items when pickpocketing STV trolls. So this will probably be part of some rune acquisition quest or something, I'm guessing. Now for the shaman stuff, there's Static Shock right here, a great enhanced talent from Wrath that'll probably make it in the game, so that way we can use Lightning Shield for damage. I like it. Along with Rolling Thunder, which I believe this is from Cataclysm as an elemental talent, also for Lightning Shield, as well as this last one, Overcharge, which is more like Overpowered, also for Lightning Shield. It's pretty crazy for the tank shaman. If they get this, they'll have pretty crazy AoE. Lightning Shield, you know, does AoE damage. The last shaman one, this one's kind of funny, is improved weapon totems and then does not work in all caps. I'm guessing they wanted to add this, but just like messed up the code and then left this spell ID in the previous PTR build. So hopefully they figured it out and that's coming as a class book, because 5 minutes on weapon enhancements kind of sucks. It'd be nice if they were 10 or maybe even like 30 or an hour or something. And there's just one for Paladin. It's kind of weird. It just says Judgment with a Holy Shock icon. Just more threat for Judgment. Yeah, I don't know. There you go. There's 2 mage ones, Guard of the Innovator, which literally says it's a mana shield, but you can put it on other people. But it also gives MP5. I don't know if it's MP5 for the person with the shield or the mage or both, but you know, who knows. And next, Advanced Warding, which just makes your normal shields better. And I'm guessing this will probably be in the same like rune row. On the same piece of gear, I'm guessing, because it doesn't affect the previous one. I also, of course, found Shadow Form reducing mana cost to 0, but that's in the WoWHead notes, so everybody kind of knows about that one. Along with, if you don't know, there's some undocumented changes to regular abilities and runes, like Lone Wolf getting buffed from 15% to 30%, Raging Blow getting nerfed from 100% to 80%, Consumed by Rage getting nerfed from 20% to 10% damage, and Mangle going down from 300% weapon damage to 270, and then also Mutilate going from 60 energy down to 40. That's a massive buff, so we could all be Mutilate next phase if I had to guess. These come in pretty randomly, so there could be more, and when the WoWHead database is updated, it kind of gaslights you into thinking that it's always been like that, since the only way to check the original values is looking in-game. That's everything that I got. You can look these abilities up on WoWHead right now as proof, and I hope they add most of these to the game. It'd be pretty cool, and we can always look back at this video later on and laugh if, you know, none of them make it in. That's all I got. Subscribe for more epic foreshadowing and memes.